another position that the 49ers seem to address in the draft, but you never really know if a position is completely filled because I know they were kind of looking at guys in free agency. So this is a guy that's familiar to 49er fans. Wanted to make sure we touched on it. Could Delanie Walker be an option for the 49ers, especially because he's still chasing that ring? What do you think, Horst? Do you think that Delanie Walker is an option for the 49ers?
I think my heart wants to say yes to this question more than my brain does. Delanie Walker, great player, great 49er. Had about another 4 big years on the Titans. But in the last 2 years, he's barely played due to injuries. I think he's played a combined 4 or 5 games. In 2017, he went for 74 catches, 800 yards. So, I mean, he's not real far removed from a big season. But anytime you're up in age like he is, and you start getting those knee, ankle, lower body injuries, it can really affect you. I really question what he brings to the table. I think you can definitely get him for cheap, but I don't know if he has it anymore.
Yeah, I agreed. My heart says yes, do it, yes, of course. Bring him back. He was an integral part of the success we had when Harbaugh first came in with Vernon Davis. That tandem was dynamic and just an absolute disaster, nightmare for defenses. But brain's saying no. 36. I mean, it's felt like the last 3 seasons has just been marred by injury. I don't know how much his body has left to give. And in all honesty, the money that we could spend on someone like him, you could give it to a Reed, who is his injuries are concussion related, but he's probably got a lot more left in the tank. And yeah, it's a hard sell to think that we could go after someone like Delanie and that he could actually bring stuff to the table that we don't already have.
Yeah, here's a guy that, to me, kind of makes sense. I'm kind of going to differ from you guys because he does fit that Ricky Jackson mold, right? He's at the end of his career. He's chasing a ring. It's obvious he's made his money. He had his big contract. And so now he's a guy that, you know what, if he could come in and work out for the 49ers, that's why it wouldn't be a signing until later. And he does present some characteristics and traits. He's a great blocker. And plus, he's always been known for his speed. So if he's still got a step, if he can still run and stretch the field, he's a great complement to what George Kittle can do. And we saw what him and Vernon Davis could do together. Now imagine putting him in a position where he's with George Kittle, who we all admit is way better than Vernon Davis. So I think that it would kind of be a perfect fit. Plus, he does all the H-back style blocking. He did wham block.
Until you had mentioned the H-back stuff with Walker, I wasn't sold on it. Like my heart says yeah, like I said before. But now that you mentioned the H-back stuff, we had a portion of the season where Juszczyk went down, and we didn't have that kind of lead back blocker. That is a role that potentially that Walker could fill. Like he could fill if something were to happen to like Juszczyk. He's kind of a plug and play. We could kind of put him in a lot of different spots. He's played in a lot of different spots similar to that, especially when he was back here first with Harbaugh. So thinking on it now, there's probably more uses for him than I initially thought. Probably not a bad idea.
Thank you for listening to the 49ers Cutback podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Google Pods, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Don't forget to click the follow button so you won't miss an episode. You can always follow us on Twitter at 49ers Cutback. We'll be back soon with another great episode. Stay safe and remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.